Fox Sports Radio and FS1. 1 hour from now, Joel Klatt and I will argue about the College Football Committee's newest top four. I agree with it. I'm sure he won't. Joy Taylor is joining me. Joy, how are you today?
I'm great. Good morning.
You're from Pittsburgh. Tomorrow, the Steelers, who have once again proven culture matters in the NFL.
Right.
No Big Ben, no Le'Veon, no AB, and they are a playoff team today against Cleveland, which has been a mess. And I want to start with that because it has been now, I counted this morning, 7 straight weeks that there's been a mini controversy or a distraction during a Browns game. And it's almost always them talking about last week's game as the Steelers are coming up their rival on a short week on Thursday. Now, I'll get to the bites by Baker Mayfield, which he should not talk about it, but we'll get to that in a second. But it's funny about the NFL. It changes really fast. Really, really fast. I want you to think about this. 10 games ago, end of last year, Baker Mayfield mania hit the NFL because of 2 big games against awful Cincinnati where he had 7 touchdowns and no picks. And I kept saying, he's short. He's not getting taller. He's not athletically dynamic. That's not going to change. And he's cocky, and I don't think that's what the best quarterbacks of my life are. Slow down, everybody. He's going to face much better teams and coaches next year. 10 games later from Baker mania, Lamar Jackson's clearly the most dynamic quarterback in the class and may end up getting many, many MVP votes. Kyler Murray, though you're not watching him in Arizona, is a dynamic, much better athlete than Baker, much better accurate thrower than Baker, and doing amazing things with far less talent than Baker. Baker's now going to be on his 4th head coach in 2 years, according to reports. Freddie Kitchens in trouble. His accuracy has eroded. We have Tua, the greatest quarterback prospect, they say, in a decade coming into the NFL next year. Forget Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, who are 6'4", can throw it. The following year, you're going to have Justin Fields at Ohio State and Trevor Lawrence, who, in my opinion, that's Elway Marino. Those are 2 absolute can't-fail home runs. And this morning, Baker, 10 games removed from Baker Mania, is just a guy. 32nd in passer rating, 30th in completion percentage, 2nd in interceptions. That's with an elite running back, an elite receiving core. He's just a guy, a 5'11 and a half guy who's too cocky, accuracy's eroded, and not dynamic athletically as the quarterback position changes to more dynamic athletically. This year, Baker Mayfield wasn't even the most interesting quarterback in the AFC with a mustache. That was Gardner Minshew. Cleveland's now closer to the Miami Dolphins than the Pittsburgh Steelers without Big Ben. The NFL, what do they say? NFL, not for long. This is why you don't do 15 commercials. This is why you come in humble. This is why you come in hungry. This is why you don't make bold predictions. The interest now in Baker is simply about the disaster known as Baker. This league's got Tua coming. We're 2 years away from Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence coming. We've got Kyler's here and better. We got Lamar's here and he's dynamic. Baker is this morning just a guy. And my least favorite thing he does is that he, there's an old Bill Belichick line. When you ask him about something, he goes, on to Cincinnati. It's like the running joke in the league. Look, do not live in the rearview mirror. So here are the Browns this week, facing their rival, short week, red-hot Steelers, national TV, and Baker's talking about the crowd noise against Buffalo last week. Yoy.
No, it wasn't that. It was just the fact that we're on offense. We needed to be quiet. It might have ruffled some feathers. Once again, that's okay. But when we're on offense in a critical down, we need to be able to have silence in our home stadium. It's got to be an advantage for us. And then when they get the ball, it's got to be really loud. That's just, the basis of football.
You're not wrong, except for the fact you're talking once again about last week and not the biggest game of the year. 10 games removed. He's just a guy. He doesn't look anything close to Lamar. You're not watching Arizona. I am. I'm paid to watch him. He ain't close to Kyler Murray. He's not going to be close to Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Hell, Sam Darnold last week looked really good. Eric Mangini on First Things First this morning about Baker's comments about the crowd against Buffalo.
Just take a step back and focus on the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the fans, not your facial hair, not your sneakers and whatever design they have, not the $100,000 watch that you have. Can we please focus on the task at hand as opposed to everything else? The Browns just find a way to create more problems and distractions for themselves.
Just a guy 10 games removed from Baker Mania. The league changes fast and humbles you quickly. Ask the Rams. That was the future. Everybody was copying the Rams a year ago. 10 games ago, the league was copying the Rams. Now they have a crisis at running back, offensive line, and salary cap. All right, let me shift to this. College football, what do you want me to pay attention to? Okay, so when I look at college football, I consider recruiting. What kind of players are going into your conference? I look at the NFL draft. What kind of players are coming out of your conference? And I can say unequivocally, without an argument, for the last 10 to 15 years, the SEC is the best conference. So yesterday, the committee came out and had LSU 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia and Clemson are in, and Bama 5. So what they are saying is 3 of the top 5 teams are from the SEC, and people are all worked up about it. Clearly, the committee wants 2 SEC teams in. I don't have a problem with it. Ohio State, Clemson, and 2 SEC teams. I watch the SEC every Saturday. Bigger, stronger, faster. I watch the recruiting rankings every year. I'm kind of a dork. Every year, 6 SEC teams in the top 10 to 12. By the way, Oregon faced Auburn. Auburn had a freshman quarterback starting his first game, neutral field. Oregon has a quarterback many believe is the first or second best in college football, and 3 offensive linemen in the NFL returning their entire offense. Auburn won. And then Georgia beat Notre Dame. And then LSU beat Texas. What do you want to count? I look at the recruiting. SEC's got better players. The mock draft, I looked up 2 mock drafts this morning. 4 of the top 5 players are SEC. Half of the first round is SEC players. Am I not supposed to look at that? They got better players coming in. They got better players going out. Half of the first round is SEC. LSU beats Texas. Auburn with a first-year quarterback beats Oregon with a stud quarterback. I got Georgia beating Notre Dame. The committee's saying we want 2 SEC teams in the final poll. I agree with that. Give me Ohio State, Clemson, and then let the guys down south sort it out. But I don't know what people get worked up over. Oregon's going to win the Pac-12. They could not beat the SEC's, I'll say, 4th best team, Auburn. Some think they're worse than Florida. Maybe they're the 5th best team with a true freshman quarterback. So I try to pay attention to this stuff. I watch games. I watch recruiting. I watch mock drafts. I'm a nerd. I spend time on it. I keep getting the same answer. SEC's got more good teams, more good players, more NFL bodies. How do I not consider that? Because this is all subjective, right? I mean, the schedules don't work out perfect. Well, that team played that team, and that team played that team. You got to win these September games, Oregon. That's why you schedule them, because you want to make a statement. And you have a junior, senior superstar quarterback. Auburn's got a freshman, and Auburn beats you. We outplayed them for the entire game. That makes it worse. Can you imagine if Auburn outplayed you for the entire game? They'd have beaten you by 20. You outplayed them and still lost. So I look at recruiting. I look at September games. I look at the mock drafts. I look at the speed of the games. LSU, Alabama. No other conference gives you a game like that. I mean, Utah will play Oregon. They're both very good. It won't look like that. Won't have 25 NFL guys on the field. So I don't have a problem. The committee is saying, listen, we like Clemson, we like Ohio State, and we like the SEC. That's what my eyes tell me too. I like Oregon. I like Utah. I like Oklahoma. But that conference down south's got more good players every year, coming into the conference and leaving the conference. I'm okay with the committee. I'm not sure what you want me to pay attention to. I mean, I have some attention deficit disorder issues in my life, but I can pay attention to simple stuff like recruiting rankings and mock drafts and what my eyes tell me on Saturday LSU Bama played. That didn't look like any other conference. That game didn't look like any other conference.
Sounds like you and Joel Klatt will have a lot to talk about today.
He's probably going to try to sell me Kansas State or something. I'm not going to buy it. Coming up next, listen, you don't have to like LeBron. You're going to be blown away by this. You're going to be shocked by this. Nick Wright here today, Mercedes Lewis, Joel Klatt, all coming up, and Nick's around the corner. Listen, a recent Gallup survey shows that of all the crimes, including like terrorism, the thing that scares Americans most is burglary. People breaking into your home. You're in the middle of the day. You're doing laundry. You're hanging out. You're making soup. Boom. You look up and there's somebody standing there. And more than everything, mugging everything. And according to all the surveys, FBI data, you lose $3,000 per burglary, and nobody has home security. 1 in 5 homes have it. What's going on here? Maybe because most companies make it difficult. Simply Safe does not. They've transformed home security, break down the barriers. First of all, they protect every door, window, and room 24/7. No contract or hidden fee or fine print. It's designed to blend right into your home. No wires or drilling. Easy to order. $15 a month. Goes up in under an hour. New York Times and CNET both handed it awards. So, and also their police dispatch up to 3.5 times faster because they use video verification so local law enforcement knows it's a real burglary. Yet only 1 in 5 homes in America has home security. Get on it. Burglars, by the way, they are looking for the soft spot, the open window, the open door. SimpliSafeColin.com, free shipping, 60-day trial too. SimpliSafeColin.com.